enough. But since tonight's session is a very interesting session, and I look forward to covering quite a great deal that's going to set each and every one of us in this meeting apart. It's a session that you will be able to carry with you all your life. The reason being the significance of ideas today cannot be overemphasized. I mean, it's around us. Everywhere around us is a manifestation of someone's idea, and you are living life the way other people have planned for you to live life. If you do not learn how to be able to fashion ideas and make them come to pass, you do not leave an impact on the earth if you do not bring an idea into reality. I think of many lessons that you will learn in life. One of the greatest lessons you have to learn is the lesson of ideas. If anything, ideas are the foundation of creation, because when you look at how things are today, the world is known to have been made from something that was not and made into something that is. So, meaning drawn from the intangible into a place of tangibility. And if you're going to become the next person to make a difference in your family, the next person to make a difference in your community, the next person to make a difference in the world, you cannot do that without using ideas. Ideas are what have separated great men from people who are not remembered whatsoever. And you do yourself a service by beginning to take this key area very, very important, because by you being able to master and study ideas, the process to turn them into reality, you are better positioning yourself to become a person that has consistent achievements. One man says this, that there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Okay? There's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And that statement came from a place of deep conviction, because once an idea has a time, its time comes, it does amazing stuff. Look at how today the world is now looking forward to the fourth industrial revolution. But what happened in the third industrial revolution when we entered into the information age? We saw the internet, the Microsofts coming up, and today there's two worldwide recognized brands. Looking at the should be the second industrial revolution, right? Was the steel industrialization, where steel factories came out and those ideas had reached their prime, and you see how they revolutionized everything, including our educational systems, are built upon the industrialization that took place many decades ago to a century ago. And today we learn subjects like math and science because of such a time that happened. So you can see how fast spanning your idea can have, even into generations that are coming. So to get started, allow me to be able to look at our objective for tonight. And our objective is that by the end of this short session, participants should have mastered the 5-pillar formula for turning ideas into a reality. That's something that you and I should have mastered and heard about. I believe this is something that we can be able to attend, and this is something that's going to be very, very important for you to remember even as you grow. So with that said, allow me to get into tonight's session. I'm going to cover some really deep insights, things that you've heard and things that you've never heard, I guarantee you. Things that are going to make you see the world through a better lens when it comes to ideas. This is what's going to make you be the person in your company that knows the way around problems. You know, you're going to be that person that is never stuck when it comes to knowing how to go about managing a process, because we are dealing with the foundation. We are dealing with the deep-seated issues when it comes to problem solving, and it starts from a place of pure and proper idea development. And when we dig deep into this, we are going to see how this will help us in our day-to-day lives. So to move on, to really begin to get this conversation, welcome to those that are joining us and we're looking at how to turn ideas, especially your business ideas, into a reality. And so to get started, let's all be on the same page about what an idea is. So an idea is a thought, it's a suggestion, a mental asset conceived by the mind as to a possible course of action. So don't let those words seem like too much right now, but the genuinity or the simplicity of an idea is that it's an abstract thing. It's intangible. It's this thing that happens in the mind. Okay? This suggestion, this particular thought that crosses your mind. And I stand to believe that each and every one of us attending this meeting tonight, the very fact that you're here before, I believe you've had an idea before. I believe that you're a person that does not want to take any idea for granted, and you're a person that perhaps realizes how the great people of old that are remembered today are remembered because of the ideas. In the book that I write, Idea Capital Development, I talk about how history has a tendency of remembering men that turned their ideas into a reality. Look at history and just search it. The people like Martin Luther King, people that have impacted the world in great ways, Mahatma Gandhi, people that have been able to transform their entire communities and communities outside them. These are people who believed in their ideas, they believed in their dreams, and they went ahead to reach out for it. Now, picture you reaching out for your idea in such a way that it's going to transform not just you, but it's going to transform your family. Tomorrow, your quality of tomorrow is dependent on what you're doing today. I'll say that again. The quality of your tomorrow is dependent on what you're doing today. And tomorrow is formed by the ideas we turn into a reality today. Like I said, ideas, even from the foundation of the earth, have been the reason as to why creation happens, because it is drawn from the abstract, the intangible, from nothing into a place of reality. And this is very true of business as well. The fact that businesses operate on the earth, they are going to face different situations, problems, they'll face hurdles, they'll face challenges that are going to require you to draw from resources that you don't have. They're going to require you to go into an intangible space. It's easy to solve certain problems when you already have the resource to solve it. If I come to you and I tell you to say, maybe you're in the sales department, and I tell you to say, we need money for this particular transport to go to the client and collect a check. Now, if the company already has an amount of money allocated to the operations, it's going to be very easy for you to not even think about it and just say, oh, let me just withdraw money from this account. So you do that. But picture a scenario where a situation like COVID-19 comes in. It was unplanned for, unbudgeted for. It's something that you did not see coming, but it has become an evident reality that is damaging, that is affecting, that is deteriorating the quality of your business, the quality of your service, perhaps getting your product kicked out of the market. But then how do you now come and solve such a problem? Because when you look within yourself, you do not have the resource. You didn't plan it before. But what you have is the ability to generate ideas that combat it. And that's why you've seen people who understand that have been doing a lot of particular contests. There's been hackathons taking place. If you go to places like Startup X, you're going to see they're going to see competition and grants and accelerators built around how to combat stuff like COVID-19 and different problems the world is facing, because they realize that where situations present themselves to be problematic and you don't have the immediate resource, you need to tap into the intangible to create a new stream of income, to create a new solution base. So with that being said, allow me to now get into more of this session tonight. I'm going to build a bit of foundation, so just want you to walk with me. So now, what is idea capital development? Because we're going to talk about this. So idea capital development, this is the system that comprises of the 5-pillar formula, which deals with the processes that exist between the conception of an idea, to the time it reaches its highest form of maturity and potential. So this is the system, okay? And this system has got 5 pillars that help you move from an abstract place, your idea, your dream, your concept, to a place of reality, maturity, and full potential. That is what this process does. This is a term that I coined in 2018 to encapsulate the 5-pillar formula. And this came about due to studies that I did, research that I did, and practical use case scenarios. I worked with different clientele back then. And we saw how these 5 things remained true. And I realized that if you can master these 5 pillars, then you're going to create an environment suitable for ideas to thrive. If you're here tonight, you probably know, you've probably heard before someone say that the graveyard is the richest place today because there are so many ideas that never came into reality. And it hurts me because you find there's an opportunity for those ideas to be made real, but for one reason or another, they never come out and become a real thing. Picture if the person that invented the telephone never got to complete that idea. Perhaps today you and me would still be estranged. Perhaps we wouldn't even be having this conversation right here, right now. In this very moment, we are experiencing the power and potential of an idea. We're experiencing at how you can unlock an idea and it becomes something major. I mean, Zoom wouldn't have had its doors open if we didn't understand radio waves. We wouldn't understand how to turn this particular speech into electronic frequencies and then convert them back. It took someone's idea, someone who was courageous enough, someone who was bold enough to start turning that idea into a reality. And I guarantee you, these 5 things were part of their process. I have seen this time and time again. Talk about any business, Uber, talk about Orlando, talk about Trade Kings. These 5 things will definitely appear in their success story, one way or another, because minus this process, there is a gap between the idea, which is intangible, to that reality, which is a tangible thing. So having understood what idea capital development is, I'd like to bring in a concept, and that's a concept of a winning idea. Allow me to read for you a story that's in my book, Idea Capital Development, in the chapter where I look at a winning idea. That's chapter 2 in the book. It's a short story. I need you to pay attention. It goes like this. A story is told of a young man who one day decided to clean his father's workshop. He cleaned it so much that it was spotless and lovely to look at. This young man was positive and hopeful that because of the work he had done, his father would reward him greatly for it. However, when his father came and saw the work the son had done, he rewarded him only a coin, just 1 coin. So the young man was furious and outraged and asked the father, saying, "After all the work I have done, how come you reward me with so little?" The father looked at the son, and I believe with an eye-to-eye look, and told him, "Son, the problem you have solved is a 1 coin problem." The father looked at the son and told him, saying, "Son, the problem you have solved is a 1 coin problem. If you desire a bigger reward, look for a problem I have that carries the size of reward you long for." This story touches my heart each time I read it, each time I get time to look at this book, because the lesson to be drawn from this story is very important. Because even in as much as the son had a great idea and even managed to execute it, he didn't have a winning idea. His idea was great, to clean this workshop, but he didn't have a winning idea. And I love to describe a winning idea as one that has a solution potential that solves the right problem. That then is a winning idea. That's the idea that has a solution potential that solves the right problem.
That son cleaned the workshop, but that wasn't the problem he needed to be working on, because he desired more than just a coin, but he solved a problem that only rewarded him a coin. And this scenario plays itself out differently in our day-to-day lives. You may be in a sales department, you may be in the human resource department, and you are trying to solve problems that are only rewarding you a coin. Some of us, it's our entire life model. We want to become very wealthy, but have confined ourselves to an 8 to 5 job. And even when we're done, we only focus on that, have no ambition in investment, have no ambition in entrepreneurship, but yet we desire a life that can only be solved by ideas that deal with investment, that deal with some form of entrepreneurship. And then when you get rewarded a coin, you are like that son saying, Father, after all the hard work I've done. You see, hard work is good, but be sure to target the winning idea, to get you the right problem solved. Many people today are frustrated. I happen to be a person that is partnering with someone getting into the mental health business, because I love to invest in businesses and in ideas. And one of the underlying things about mental health that you're seeing today is so many people need mental care, because people are frustrated. They are doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, the things that do not fulfill their passion, the things that do not ride on the very things that give them this form of satisfaction. And we see so many people being like that son, that's solving a problem. That's a great idea, but it's not solving the right problem. So you must be in the business of solving problems using a winning idea, an idea with that solution potential that solves the right problem. So if that's you and this has caught your attention, I'm about to share with you more on this. And my book, Idea Capital Development, goes into detail about a winning idea. There's use case scenarios. I share how you do this step by step, stuff that I'm not able to really expound deeper today, because the goal is to share with you more on the 5-pillar process. It goes all the way into the refinement stage, the idea defining stage, the planning stage, and a whole lot of stuff. But if I can at least get across to you the winning idea, then you are already set to begin to think differently. Moving on, I want to ask a question. What comes first, the idea or the goal? I'm going to start looking at goals very soon, but I want to see what people think. What do you think comes first? I know it's a tricky question. The idea or the goal? What comes first?
The idea.
Okay, Andrew says the idea. Thank you for that, Andrew. Let me get more opinions. Idea or the goal? Which one comes first?
The idea.
Okay, Tisa says the idea. So awesome. Let me get more responses. Which one comes first, the idea or the goal? I wish I did a poll for this. Where the others, where are your opinions? Thank you, Charity. Charity says the goal. Great. Let me keep getting more and more opinions. I can get a few more. So Sandra says, I think idea. Awesome. I think idea. Even the idea is a thought. The thinking. All right, let me get something. Emmanuel, Evelyn, Janet, thank you so much. It depends. It'd be either way. Okay, Janet says it'd be either way. Great. All right. The rest. Awesome. Emmanuel says the idea. Great. Thank you all for the feedback that you've provided. What comes first, the idea or the goal? And like I said, like I've put a caption, that's a question that is as tricky as what comes first, the chicken or the egg. To date, this question sparks arguments in a debate room. And you find it very hard to really calm down. And someone also says hi either way. So this is my opinion on this. Because it's a hard question, I cannot conclusively come to it. But in my experience, I can say the few years I've been dealing with ideas, I'm actually writing an idea dictionary that's got interesting terms like idea meritocracy, So got idea contestation. I'm going to release it one of these days. It's an entire book about ideas. But then what I've come to realize is that the idea and the goal can be either way, right? Some of you say that if you say the goal, the idea, you're also correct, because at times the idea will come first, sometimes the goal will come first. And in a moment, I'm going to let you see something that will make you understand that. If you have a goal, I'm going to share the goal is. I've shared what an idea is. I'm going to share what a goal is, then we're going to review this thought again, okay? If you have a goal, that goal can help you generate more ideas. For example, businesses have good goals. And within the goals that they're trying to accomplish as a business, they've got departments that have to have ideas to be able to reach those goals. Likewise, you can have an idea today, and that idea may help you set goals that you want to achieve. So it can be either or. But let me just share with you a way to understand this better. The three main idea conversion relationships. And this is where it's going to become easier for you to begin to understand the whole concept here. The idea is the seed. Okay? Picture the idea as the seed. The idea capital development system I'll be sharing with you very soon is the soil. The external factors have to do with management. So now when it comes to you being able to turn ideas into reality, you need to look at these things at a three-dimensional space. The idea as a seed, the soil as the idea capital development system, the external factors as management. And I'll share a bit about this just right now. So if this was a farmer doing this, the idea you get is the seed that you have. An idea can be synonymously used for goal in this particular case. They are both abstract, okay? The idea and the goal are both abstract. They both would qualify as a seed example here. The soil is the system. Now you see the soil is the environment in which the seed thrives. When you put the seed in the right soil, it knows what it should become. It starts becoming that. I like how someone put it already has the potential to become what it's meant to become. So the idea capital development is you building the environment. In my book, Idea Capital Development, I draw a curve that shows the relationship between idea capital development and what is known as human capital development. The more you develop the environment, the more the environment for your idea is improved. So when you develop you develop the environment, which is the idea capital development system, that then makes it easy for the idea to become a reality. Please get to tie these three together. Then management, this is the external factors. When you are doing gardening, farming, you need to now water the seeds that's in the right soil. You need to be able to weed the seeds, environment. That's what management is. And those of you who've done some management has got 4 functions. And I've mentioned it before in these sessions. There's planning, there's organizing, there's influencing, and there's controlling. Okay, planning, organizing, influencing or leading, and controlling. Planning has to do with what, when, and where. Organizing, who will do it. Influencing is about directing how things should be done. And controlling is more of monitoring and evaluation and trying to ensure that you are on track with the goals and idea. But my goal is not to look at management today. I've looked at it before, and I'm going to take time to look at this more in the future. But I want to help you see how the seed, being the idea or the goal, is tied to the idea capital development system. But do not forget this relationship. If you're going to turn ideas into reality, you need all three. You need the seed, you need the soil, and you need the external factors. You need to water, you need to weed. If you can tie these 3 things, you become a mastermind in solving problems that have to do with implementing ideas that are the solution to the right problem. The idea capital development system, and the external factors. So moving on, let me just share a bit about the goal. So the concept of a goal, or the concept of goal setting, is that a goal is a product from the reasons to succeed. Okay, so you need to give yourself enough reasons to succeed, and when you give yourself those reasons, that the product produced is what is known as a goal. I got this from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was told by his mentor one day to say, Jim, why are you broke? Why don't you have money? And so he began to give a lot of excuses. No, my job, my this, that's why I'm not rich, and everything. And after he gave all those excuses, his mentor just looked at him and told him, Jim, the real reason why you're not rich is because you've not given yourself enough reason to succeed. I'll say that again. He told him, said, Jim, the reason why you're not rich is because you've not given yourself enough reasons to succeed. If you're going to want to be successful so that your children never have to go through what you went through, that is a goal. If you want to be successful, if you want to make impact so that your company maybe may become the national brand, that is a goal. So it's the reasons for why you want to succeed. Those are goals. So if I set a goal for my business, I'm an entrepreneur. If I set a goal for my business, the premise of my goal is the reasons I want to succeed. So for us at Make Life International, our vision is to see a better world in which ideas built on love and moral integrity have got ease of access to the resources that they need to become a reality. We want to create such a world. And because that's the world we want to see, that's our goal. Our goals are in line with that. So when we do management consulting, management coaching, whether we do project management, project research for management, management contracting, all that we do around management in terms of helping entrepreneurs, professionals, corporates, and investors, we focus on coming to this end goal, making it easier for them to achieve their goals. And that's what we do. And if you understand that a goal is the product from the reasons to succeed, you will become better at goal setting. I mean, you're going to have goals for your family, goals for your relationships, goals for your business, goals for your church, goals for your spiritual life, goals for your health life. Because maybe you want to live long, you're going to take more precautions in what you eat today, how you watch your weight, how you do ABCD. And that's where the goal comes from. If that has stuck with you, the expected outcome at the end of the journey, that's the goal. Okay? That is the goal. So now that you've heard about ideas and you've heard about goals, you see how they've got a similarity. Now, like I said, the idea is a thought, is the suggestion, but now the goal is the reason to succeed. And I'm going to ask you a question again. Which one do you still feel should come first? I love such a debate going on. The reason to succeed, or the thought, that suggestion that implies the need for a course of action. Anyone still want to try this? Then I'll quickly move on to what we're here for tonight. Idea or the goal? I think everyone wants to be quiet and I want to play it safe. Okay, yes, Andrew,
Both.
what is, sorry?
Both. It depends.
Depends, huh? Great, thanks, Evelyn. And what do you say, Andrew? I see your hand up.
Now I think I'm fully convinced that is the goal, because you need reasons to say, I want to be having shawarma every day, or I want to be driving in nice cars every day, or I want to be able to feed my family at the end of the day. So I think the goal.
You're convinced it's the goals now. I'm loving this. All right, so I'm on the fence today. I'm not going to give what I can call a concluding remark. The goal, someone says the goal should come first. I love Evelyn saying that both, it depends. And I'm not going to give a concluding remark. So this is for you to think on, this is for you to study on, and be able to really validate your responses. But both of you, or all of us here, have given certain merits as to which one can come first. Goals can contain ideas, ideas can contain goals. So that being said, I haven't given you a conclusion, but I'm just saying goals can contain ideas, ideas can contain goals. Which one comes first? It may depend on the situation. So you were all right. So now let me just move on because of time. So a bit about just goals that I want to finalize on is that a big goal is a goal with tasks that feel unbearable. An elephant task. This is a mammoth task. It seems impossible at times. And if you're going to solve certain problems that are meaningful at times, they're going to be really big. And you're going to need big goals. And you're going to need a winning idea. So if you're solving a big problem, you may need big goals and you need a winning idea. Don't forget, a winning idea is the idea that solves, that has the solution potential for the right problem. So the idea helps you have that solution potential for that right problem, but the big goals help you be able to deal with a mammoth task. And how do you eat an elephant? You cut it piece by piece. So now the progression, now that you've understood the abstract things, the intangible things, the ideas, the goals, now how do you progress? Because at the end of this session, what you want to know is how now you make those intangible and abstract things become a reality. I've really labored into the difference between the goal and the idea. I've really talked to you about the concept of the winning idea and the concept of a big idea, of a big goal, sorry. And now I want to come into the progression, the in between. So starting and continuing to progress is at the core of managing your big goals. Okay, however, it matters how you progress. And this is something Abraham Lincoln says, if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 6 of them sharpening my axe. Says I would spend the first 6 of them sharpening my axe. That's what Abraham Lincoln says. He says, give me 8 hours, and for the first 6 hours, I'll spend time to sharpen my axe. He was trying to communicate how important the progress, the process between the idea to cut down the tree and the end result of it being cut down is very important. He says he would spend so much time preparing for that particular process of just coming to cut the tree. And so you cannot underestimate how vital the process that gets you to the end result is. It talks about sharpening the axe. And in this case, we're looking at how you improve the environment. Remember, I said the relationship is that the idea or the goal are the seed. The idea capital development system, which is the 5-pillar process I'm about to share with you, is the environment, the soil. And the external factors like the water and the weeding is management. So now, if he says that it's important for you to spend the first 6 hours sharpening the axe, just so that you could cut the tree at the end, then it shows you that the idea capital development process is important. The actual cutting of the tree is where management comes in. The idea capital development process is the environment that allows management to take place. And the goal and the idea are the reasons why you're trying to actually get that result, because they are the abstract and intangible things you want to come to pass. I keep on iterating so that I don't lose you, and I hope you get this. You won't hear this from anywhere else. Okay, well, you may hear it from some places because, like I say, everything that's genuine, someone will say it in one way or another. It just may sound a bit different. But I love to teach things simply because one thing that I've heard from my bishop, he always says, he who knows it best says it simply. And I hope I'm trying to communicate it as simple as I can. And something similar to this coin by Abraham Lincoln is something that Albert Einstein said. He says that he talks about if he was given if he was given 60, he says if he was given 60 minutes to solve the problems of the world, you would spend the first 59 defining the problem. So he also kind of brings you back to say that you need to really understand and have an understanding in the abstract things before you can go for the intangible, for the tangible realities. That being said, let's get to look at this particular graph. So you see, in short, this is the idea plus the goal. Process gives you reality and achievement. You achieve goals, you turn ideas into a reality. So if you want to have your reality achieved, you need goals and ideas, run them through the process of management, and you get your reality. And when I talk of process, we're talking of management and the environment. This entire red region here is what we know, what we call idea capital development. This red region where management is being done. It's your idea capital development space. This is why the 5 pillars that turn ideas into reality are hottest within the region of process. If you're excited to now start learning about the 5 pillars, which I'm going to run through quickly, just go ahead and type in a yes in the box so that I share with you how you marry ideas and goals to the reality and achievement that you want. Thank you for that yes in the box. Thank you for that yes from Nyamuka Africa Solutions. Great to have the team here. Yes from Evelyn. Thank you so much for the yeses that are pouring in. Thank you, Janet. So now I'm going to go. Thanks, Charity. Okay, let me get to now go into the session. This here is the 5-pillar process in as simple as I can set it out for you, in a way that I even explain it a bit for you. And I'm going to just quickly go through this in the next slide so that you can understand them better. So the first process is the advantage bringer. The second is the timekeeper. The third is the playmaker. The fourth is the door opener. And the fifth is the game changer. This is the red zone here in process. The advantage bringer, the game changer, the playmaker, the door opener, all those here, the timekeeper, they all fall within this red region, which allows for management to take place. Remember, management is planning, organizing, influencing, and controlling. But you need to have the soil ready for that seed, that idea, and that goal. So now, if you see, I've added a few notes just to attach to these, and I'm going to talk more about it. So the advantage bringer, this is where you extend your knowledge. We call, at Idea Capital Development, with Make Life, we call knowledge the advantage bringer. And I'm going to share with you a bit about what type of knowledge here. The timekeeper is understanding. The playmaker is wisdom. The door opener are skills. I'll share about skills for a bit. The game changer are advocates. If you can set up these 5 pillars in your model to convert your idea to reality, then you're well on your way to becoming great at fulfilling all your ideas. So with that said, let me just share with you these and break them down for you in a way that you understand. So the advantage bringer, this is where you extend your knowledge. When I was starting business for my first business, I actually took my first step to do business when I was at the age of 19. I didn't start as early as some of you, but when I took time to get into business, I once heard of a saying that says that it just takes one idea to change the world. Well, in as much as that was true when I was growing up, when people would say just one idea changed the world, I later realized that that was not enough, because you needed to know the process. So initially, I had this idea to begin to service cars because I saw cars were increasing in Zambia, you know, pretty much around the year 2014, 2013. And I said, well, let me start a car service shop. So with that idea, I went into it, even though I didn't have much information or knowledge about it. And like should have been expected, the business failed. Okay, before it could even fully get started, it died, it crashed, because I went into business with so little knowledge of the field I was trying to engage in, and I burned through most of my resources because I didn't know how to balance my cash flow then. And that's how that business called Mapakashi Tire Retailers never got to see the light of day, despite the uniforms we got, the filling station deals we were chatting through. But the lack of knowledge costed that business greatly. And I love to say that knowledge is the advantage bringer. If you're going to get any idea to get out, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how much knowledge do I have in this industry? How much knowledge do I have about this thing, this book, this product? Because if you're going to solve the problem, even these problems about COVID, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how much do I know about the problem that is COVID-19? What are the similar types of coronaviruses out there? What has been done in the past? You do research around these particular types of problems. And when you start getting to research, read, and understand, that you get closer and closer. If you're competing with someone in a competition, like I know Nyamuka Africa Solutions is running the Great Zambezi Hackathon, and they're looking into COVID-19 problems. They need this topic. If you're teaching people anything, they need to hear such stuff. They need to know that the more they grow their knowledge, the better advantage they are to create a solution that will solve a real problem out there. And two types of problems here. There's fundamentals and there's information, and they are different. Fundamentals, these are the base information about something. And if I want to know about the fundamentals of a problem, the best sources for fundamentals are schools and books. These are the places I've come to realize that are great. When we go to schools like universities and classes, they are good at teaching us the fundamentals. They'll teach you the fundamentals of programming, and you realize that even after you've learned a course, you can't program, you know, because that's like the fundamentals, it's the base. They teach you about what programming is. They'll teach you about inputs and outputs, about object-oriented analysis and programs and whatnot. And you learn all these things about source code and everything, because those are the base. And the fundamental is very important, because these things don't change. Fundamentals don't change over time. The information changes, and the information is the small bits of information that are trendy. Information changes very fast and becomes obsolete fast. Fundamentals remain consistent over many years. So there's a difference. What you find on the internet when you go search Google, most of the time is information. It may just be information about COVID-19. But you can't be thinking of solving a problem as big as COVID-19 or the problems in your company by just studying information. You need to study fundamentals. If you're looking to get into agri entrepreneurship, dealing with agro works in terms of entrepreneurship, or you're looking at precision farming where you're using technology for your farming, you need to start studying the fundamentals. Go to the books about precision farming. Learn the base stuff, where it comes from. Because if you understand the fundamentals, these things will guide you for the most part. Information will help you know maybe the latest technology in the field of agri entrepreneurship and whatnot, but it won't teach you the fundamentals. And the problem today is that with the information age, we have so many people who've got information but lack fundamentals. We need both if we are to solve if we are to turn our ideas into a reality. If we are to solve problems out there, we need to have fundamental knowledge in any topic we're dealing with and information. And we take this seriously at MakeLife. If we are looking at solving your problem, we take time to really get into detail, because we believe that we solve the right problem, the true problem, and we don't need to solve those other things that are not necessarily your problem. That being said, I wish I could dwell more on this and really speak into this, but I'll share the audio, and those of you can get a copy of the book. You need to get a copy of the book so you can get the mindset behind idea capital development. The timekeeper. This is where you increase your understanding. So now that you have the knowledge, remember this, you're building the environment for your idea to thrive. So you've increased the knowledge, and maybe you're trying to solve COVID-19 problem. You have the fundamentals about coronary diseases, what has been done in the past. You know the step-by-step procedures of how they are formed, what their composition is all about. And now that you have the fundamentals, and you've also got the latest information about what China is doing to solve that problem, US is doing, Spain, Zambia is doing, the incubator problem, you now have a mindset being probed to solve the right problem and to solve big problems. So now the next thing is understanding. So understanding, the major factors of understanding are time management and opportunity management. Understanding spans into so many things, but these are major factors of understanding. When you've got the right understanding, you know the right timing for your solution. I've shared many times with you that the ideas that succeed the most are ideas that are timed right. If your idea is timely, you are going to have so much traction. Most businesses don't fail necessarily because they run on a bad idea, but because the timing is wrong. Those people who got into the making of masks right on early on, they made enough money. Those who came on late, they didn't make as much money because of the timing. And it's very key that the timekeeper, which is understanding, helps you with turning your idea into a reality, because you're not going to miss the right time to launch, do that brand activation for your company, do that brand activation for your business model. So it will help you manage that. And when you and when you talk about it creating that environment, remember this is the environment process. It also help you manage the opportunities when you have understanding. The opportunities around you, because like I said, I have a quote that says that life, if you're doing what's right in personal development, life is going to present to you opportunities like a buffet. But it's for you to exercise that particular understanding of only taking what you need and leaving the rest. So with the lack of understanding of what you need for your business, what you need for your idea to succeed, you will not be able to manage the opportunities. You're going to even tag along opportunities that will just separate your finance. I told you about my story with my Mapakashi Tire Retailers. It died because I began to spread my cash flow thinly. Instead of me focusing on the tire business, I went ahead and tried to open up an internet cafe alongside the barber shop. So I built this structure somewhere in Material East. It was a very nice structure. It was about, I think, 14 feet on one side and about 6 feet. So now I was trying to attempt two big things at the same time, and it crashed the business model. 19 years old, my money's ran dry, both businesses died. Why? Because I didn't have an understanding to manage the opportunity at the time. So you need understanding whatever you're doing. Be able to know what's happening. And if you read my book, I share more in understanding. I talk about foresight, insight, and oversight. I talk about listening. That's keeping your ear to the ground on what's happening and how you translate that into understanding. That's what's also in idea capital development. Since I can't share everything tonight, let me just move on to the third thing so we can have all five done. The playmaker. So now the playmaker is where you have wisdom in action. This is where you've got knowledge, you've got fundamentals and information. You've been able to understand the problem better that you're trying to solve for, that your idea is trying to solve for. You've been able to do proper time management. You know this is the right time. You know how to manage which opportunities to take up, which ones to let go. What you now need is the playmaker. In football, the playmaker is the one who kind of sets the ball up for someone to score. This is the guy that's going to pass the ball to Ronaldo and he hits it into the goal because he positions it just right. That's the playmaker. He makes the play. And for the factors that involve wisdom, there are many factors that I would share with you with time, but let me mention two major factors. One is the smart and strategic action plan. And the second one is the bigger picture. If you've done any form of planning, okay, it comes into all this. You need to know there's need to be strategic, there's need to be smart about how you do that. Let me just mute. I'm getting some feedback. Awesome. So when it comes to the playmaker, this is the part where you're able to get to strategize for your idea. It's where you're able to place the segments where they're supposed to be. This is the portion where you see the entire idea with the big picture, and you're able to see the components that fall in place to be able to make it as a whole thing. And wisdom is important because when you want to act now, if you're in battle, there's what they call strategy and there's what they call tactic, and there's an element of wisdom in that. The people who are wise will always set up the right tactics, which are efficient and effective, and that's what SMART translates into. And some of you know the SMART module, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So you need to be wise when you're playing your move. Whether you're deciding to open up in Woodlands or in Chalala or Kablonga, you need to be able to strategize. is this the best location for my shop? Is this the best? For example, you're trying to solve a COVID-19 problem. You need to ask yourself, what problem is really needs to be solved? Is it a technology problem or a psychological problem? Where is the problem? Because you may start thinking of getting into tech, but maybe that's not where the problem is. Perhaps it's the psychology of the people. For COVID-19 to finish, your solution may not be technological. It may just be how to allow the psychology of everyone in the nation in such a way that they contribute to the overall solution at the end of the day. Sometimes a psychological, strategic point of view may outweigh the technology. Because if you see how, like, for example, how COVID was spreading, it was just how people are perceiving the psychology. Some people think it's a hoax, some people think it's what, and whatnot. And that's caused more and more rises. So you may spend a whole lot of time building this application, this technology, when the underlying problem may be psychological. So I'm trying to show you how you need to think smart and strategic. That's what the playmaker is about. You don't just set the ball anyhow. You set the ball in the right position. I hope I've challenged someone here. Because of time, let me move on. I should have only 2 minutes. The door opener. These are the skills. We at Make Life teach a whole lot of management skills, from record keeping to costing, to teaching you emotional intelligence, all the way through to teaching you how to plan for your business, buy for your business, be able to do bids and proposals. But these underlying things are all falling into what we call skills. Now, I love to say skills and understanding are the opposites of each other. Understanding helps you break down the intangible into small pieces. Skills help you be able to put together what is tangible into something beautiful. I mean, if you give someone who's got a skill of programming a computer, they'll use bits and bits of code bytes to come and create statements, then to come and create files of code. Before you know it, you've got an application. So skills build up, understanding breaks down. So for you to turn ideas into reality, you need understanding to break down the idea into small pieces, and you need skills to be able to set up those pieces into one big thing to get you the result you want. Two major factors here because of time. For skills, you need teams and you need specified access. By teams, I mean where you cannot do it on your own, always grow your teams. It can be collaborations, it could be staff, it could be friends and partners, co-founders. You must be willing to think of building teams. It's a very critical element to the overall benefit that you want to gain. You can be able to leverage on the skills of others for you to, for both of you to work, or all of you to work towards getting the end result. But when I talk about specified access, if you want to get anywhere in the world, you just need the right skill to get you there. I normally tell people that if you want to meet the Queen of England, you just need to devote your life to studying the skill that's required in Buckingham Palace, and they cannot do without it. One way or another, they're going to find you. If you want to be in State House one day, let me challenge you, those of you who are politically inclined, begin to know what skills people in State House need, and one day you may find yourself there. So skills are door openers. So when I'm talking about turning ideas into realities, this is where skills come in. If you want specified access to a different place, you want to live outside Zambia or you want to live within Zambia, ask yourself, what skills do I have that are necessary for where I want to be, for the doors I want to access? When companies are promoting, I love to give, I've never failed an interview. I've always got a job whenever I go for an interview, and this is one of the reasons. I research the company and find out what are the most necessary skills, and I study for those skills, prepare myself, and get that. Maybe one day I may fail, but I hope I never. But right now, I've seen this working. And if you want to become the CEO, you want to become a manager, sometimes you have to ask yourself, what are the set of skills I need to get to that position? Unless the people in the company just hate you for some reason and they try to fight you, there'll still be other organizations willing to, gallop you whole and get you part of their team because you've got the skills that they need. One of my mentors says that the world respects people of results. And like I've said, skills are the ones that bring the intangible into a tangible reality. They are the two sets that you need to combine the planning that is involved in terms of let me just get that again, and the knowledge, the understanding. You now need the skills as well to now finalize this tangibility. So now with skills, you'll be able to get the result that you need. But you still need this last point, which is the game changer. If you are to grow your idea to maturity and full potential. Remember, I said that the idea capital development process, or the idea capital development system, not process, is the process that helps you be able to turn ideas through the 5-pillar formula or 5-pillar processes in such a way that you turn that idea into reality, to its maturity and its full potential. It's not enough for me to get my minimum viable product. Skills can get you to your minimum viable product, but you need the game changer, which means you acquire advocates, other people, partners on board that can influence your minimum viable product, your base product to become multiplied, to have an impact. There are companies that will go call a celebrity to advertise their products for them, and overnight they'll become an overnight sensation. Right now, if you're following social media, there's this wash on your phone campaign going, and what they've done, they've got some models involved, they've got people like Chamba Kanyama to speak on it, and overnight, because they've applied the game changer, they have got some level of traction. And I've seen this so many times. If I sit down to start telling you game changer moments, I can run you through companies in Zambia, abroad, South Africa, Zimbabwe. When you talk about eConnect, you know, that have implied or say employed the game changer. This one will drive your idea to a full potential. I am against the idea of being a solo entrepreneur for all your life. It's nice to get people on board, co-founders, call people to partner with you. Because if your idea is going to have a full potential, you want to share in the labor, share in the ideas, because like I put it, it has got a multiplication effect. We call the game changer also the multiplication factor. If you read my book, Idea Capital Development, you will read more about it. And the other thing is exposure. So where you are not exposed, by getting the right people on board, you get exposed to new markets, to new scenarios. I can go on and on, but tonight my session has ended. I'm going to